What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. It's Monday, which sucks, obviously, but we're all dealing with it together, right? As a disclaimer, I did want to say if there are any scam ads on this video, please do not participate. And I also wanted to just, touch base with the XRP community and the digital assets community as a whole as well. I have my own opinions about other content creators in this space. That does not mean that my opinions have to align with your opinions. Many people provide value in many different ways in this space. Take my opinions with a grain of salt. Social media is a platform where people open their mouths and say things, and I'm no different than anybody else. I'm not perfect, and I'll continue to try to research in the best manner possible and just provide facts that are not hype-based to you all, facts that I find. That's my choice to do that. But I am not telling anybody that they need to follow X person or X person. I could care less. I'm trying to just present the information that I find to try to help people in the best way that I can. And you could probably get help from other people as well, which is fantastic. So I did want to start today and just say there's a big video here today. A lot of stuff has went on over the past couple weeks that we've seen. We're going to tie something in with the remittance rule where we directly saw that XRP was called out by the government in the remittance rule update. We're going to cover Mitsubishi. We know that MUFG is a Ripple partner. And there's a document in here that I don't think many of you have probably seen. Some of you might have, but I would bet that most of you may have not. We're going to cover Equens Worldline and XRP. There is a ton in this video. So, all right, to start, let me get started here. SkuChain and Mitsubishi launch blockchain platform Eco for metals and mining. You can obviously see the snippet of gold here. All right, SkuChain. And SkuChain also interoperates with Ripple as well. SkuChain, a US-based blockchain company, has partnered with Mitsubishi Corporation, the metals and mining trading subsidiary, which is RTM Japan, to launch the Eco platform for precious metals trading. Powered by SkuChain's proprietary EC3 platform for blockchain-based supply chain management and finance. Eco facilitates trades by generating, managing, and executing invoices and confirmations between counterparties. Now, Mitsubishi is the owner of this network and will bring along its largest customers as initial members of it, with plans to expand deeper into the supply chain. Features will be added to Eco on a regular basis, keeping the platform up to date, the companies say. Now, with this platform, parties can take documents used in trade transactions and use the system to sign them digitally, storing the signed documents on the blockchain, etc., etc. Now, we get down into here, and it does say, our anchor customers are about 10 enterprises across the globe. This is SkuChain here. Japan is definitely our largest market because the country has optimized its supply chain to the largest extent. Now, earlier this year, SkuChain did partner with NTT Data. We're going to go over that into a second as well. They partnered to build a separate platform for supply chain and logistics management. They also established cross-blockchain interoperability, which we're going to talk about, and trade finance by linking together the E3 or the EC3 platform with Corda. Okay. Now this is BAFT, distributed ledger payment commitment. All right. So you see here too, NTT Data has partnerships and collaborations with R3, Ripple, and SkuChain. Okay. I'm going to try to tie all this in together. Now this is an Everest presentation that I'm sure most of you have seen by now. Everest is an NTT Data company. It basically shows everything cross-border flowing through Interledger Protocol and being bridged by the XRP ledger. This is late 2017. We can see SkuChain's technology presentation here, and they talk about being blockchain agnostic, currency transport agnostic, USD, CNY, or Ripple. Now, Mitsubishi is a giant, everybody. The four main companies comprising the Mitsubishi Group are MUFG Bank, Mitsubishi Corporation, Mitsubishi Electric, and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. But I don't know if many of you may have seen this document here. So I found this last year, and this is directly through MUFG. This is Mitsubishi Financial Group, okay? Obviously, we can see here the members of the RippleNet Advisory Board. And I don't know why Bank of America is always a question to people. They are obviously a Ripple partner. So we're not worried about Ripple partnerships, so right? We're worried about XRP utilization. At least I am. So RippleNet Advisory Board consists of 7 institutions who are proactively promoting the network to improve payment and settlement efficiency of cross-border transactions. They act as an advisory group to Ripple so that many institutions can smoothly implement Ripple's solution in the future. We can see the global RippleNet Advisory Board, Bank of America, Standard Chartered, Westpac, Santander, MUFG, Royal Bank of Canada, CIBC. We can see the Japan Advisory Board too. Mizuho, Sony, MUFG. I mean, it's big, people. We'll get into this here. This is Ripple's first step, and this is through MUFG. This is intrabank. This is between themselves, right? We can see the Ripple network. We can see settlement occurring. We can see the interledger protocol. We can see Ripple Connect, and obviously they're both connected through Ripple Connect. And then we go down, and we can see second step here. This is through a group member of MUFG. This is Krungsgri, and we can see the same thing. You know, messaging, Ripple network, settlement. I want to see XRP in the middle there, and we will see that through an Equens Worldline presentation here shortly. Now, trade finance meet interoperability. This is about SkuChain as well. This is an R3 Corda document, and this was, I believe, just this year. Yeah, March 24th, 2020, okay? Now, this goes into the Bankers Association for Trade and Finance recognized that interoperability would require a neutral working group to establish some standards. Now, this framework for a digital ledger payment commitment was the result of those talks about interoperability, okay? Now, this is SkuChain introducing their EC3 platform, and facilitated through the Corda network. Now, what's interesting is we see this document from 2019, a response by the Clearinghouse, BAFT, Consumers Bankers Association, and American Bankers Association. And this is a responding letter about the remittance rule. And if you're not aware, the remittance rule was this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau through the US, they directly mention XRP in the remittance rule, and the new remittance rule. And we can see them responding to this as well. Now, this is footnote 57, okay? Now, this is the Bureau also asks whether new technologies such as cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology can replace correspondent banking. Now it says, indeed, some companies are working to allow banks to be able to use a commonly accepted cryptocurrency and an associated ledger to make payments without using correspondence and paying lifting fees. Now that is directly mentioning XRP. Could Ripple's XRP replace correspondent banks? So take it with a grain of salt, however you want to take it. They're mentioning it directly in their response to the remittance rule. But we can see what's being built regardless. Now, utilization is another aspect. If they utilize it, fantastic, because we know that it's more efficient than just RippleNet as it is right now. But we will see what happens, and I suspect that we see things sooner rather than later. Now, this today was MoneyGram partners with MMBL. This is in Sri Lanka. I posted this on Twitter today. Now, MMBL Money Transfer runs more than 2,000 cash payout locations, including banks, retail outlets, and non-banking financial institutions. I will be interested to see if they potentially utilize the on-demand liquidity solution in the future. I doubt that's in the initial roadmap, though. Just trying to be a little bit... My opinion's reserved, I guess. Now, this today was Hashcash partners with European Bank and offers advanced core banking solutions. I could not find the bank that they partnered with today, but I do know from looking into it that Hashcash's HCNet is flexible in terms of interoperability and works with other platforms such as Ripple, Stellar, Corda, Sawtooth, and Hyperledger Fabric. So they obviously have tie-ins with Ripple. They have tie-ins with Stellar and XLM. They have tie-ins with R3 Corda, Sawtooth, and Hyperledger Fabric. This came out last night. This is a Deloitte presentation. If you do know that Deloitte facilitated integration, I should say showcased integration of RippleNet into Temenos T24 along with Bluezell. Now, so we do know Deloitte has ties with Ripple. Deloitte has also built a solution, I believe, that combines Ripple and Stellar. We can find that in previous documents as well, which is very interesting. But they put out a document, the future of post-trade infrastructure, and this was yesterday. This, to me, these two paragraphs just paint a very clear picture of where we're going, okay? Like Rome, we believe this new infrastructure will not be built in a day, not least because legal and regulatory considerations need to be addressed by the competent authorities to recognize and frame these technologies. Nevertheless, it is now evident that the future landscape will enable new solutions around digital assets and custody, generating incremental revenues in parallel to implementing process efficiencies, cost reduction, and improvement of customer experience. The post-trade 2.0 ecosystem is no longer a question of imagination, but it is currently under construction. Being part of it and engaging in fintech and distributed ledger technology is a must for the key stakeholders of the securities and asset management value chain. They're telling you what's coming, people. It's not if, it's when. And they're building it right now, and they're building it in front of everybody's eyes, but people are paying too much attention to the mainstream media and just they have no idea what's going on. So Deloitte is a monster as far as a consulting firm is concerned. I mean, you can look up Deloitte. If you haven't heard of them, you should look them up. All right, now this is China Blockchain Network launches global website, so we can see China moving on. This is the website here. If you want to check it out, it's global.bsnbase.com. China, we're led to believe that China is much further ahead than the countries, especially like North America and the US, but who knows? I don't know if we have an ace up our sleeve or not. A lot of the quote unquote insiders / riddlers in the XRP community, and there are those, if you're not aware, they would lead you to believe that there are, but that they're not that far behind, but who knows? We'll see what happens. So this is the website though, if you want to check out China's blockchain network website. Now, today as well, just more adoption news. This is Siemens and DWA partner on revolutionary blockchain strategy for Dubai. Siemens is obviously like a huge company. I think most of us have probably heard of them. I think I said Siemens before, but it's Siemens. Now, this is they've partnered to transform Dubai into the world's first government to conduct all its applicable transactions via blockchain by 2020. That is this year, people. So that they are not that far behind, okay? And this is the website here. This is for basically electric vehicles. DWA's EV green charger customers can obtain services via blockchain now. So cool, awesome. Now, again today, more rhetoric across the board, messaging standards to bring clarity to a fragmented payments ecosystem. Now, this does talk about bridging silos, the same verbiage we always see, highlighting the general convergence around ISO 20022. ISO 20022 is a standard which basically interoperates between all payment institutions. It's the upgrade of the current standard that they have, and it goes into effect completely in 2025 if you're not aware. Now, it says it's been adopted by SWIFT, SIPS, SPFS, Ripple, and many others, but SWIFT has already delayed their integration. We know Ripple's already integrated. And also, if you're not aware, Ripple is the first distributed ledger technology company integrated into the ISO standards body, which is extremely interesting for 20022. Now, this today was CIH Bank automates corporate banking services with Finastra. This is Morocco. This is Fusion Trade Innovation and Fusion Corporate Channels to provide corporate customers with access to services online. I'm sure this deals a lot in APIs. I'm not sure if this directly deals with Ripple or XRP. We will see how that goes. However, we do know that Finastra is ODL enabled. Also today, this is through Infosys. If you're not aware, Infosys Finacle, they directly integrate with Ripple. They directly integrate with Ethereum. So this is an Infosys blog. This is Finastra Global Pay Plus. Time to upgrade your payments platform to the next generation Fusion platform. Not a lot in here, but still worth presenting. It talks about some of the issues and some of the kind of like the stopgaps as far as integration is concerned and just the struggles that integration entails, which doesn't seem like it's a lot. It just seems like it's more of a time frame thing that, you know, these companies need to plan for the integration, the upgrades. So now I did want to get into Equens Worldline. Some of you may have seen this. Some of you may have not. I don't know why I got on this today, but I've seen this before, but I'm presenting this to the people that have not. This is Michael Salmony, okay? If you're not aware who this dude is, Michael Salmony is an executive advisor, payments innovation strategy, and he is an advisor for some extremely big organizations. European Payments Council, European Central Bank, etc., etc. The Parliament, European Commission. Now, he's also in tandem an executive advisor at Equens Worldline. Now, this presentation is probably, 2.5 years old now, or 3 years old at this point. So, very interesting, though, that they were talking about this back in 2017 when all of this was a complete scam. And we can see here, and this is a legit presentation. I know he has a typo in it. I don't know if this was a draft or what this was or why this dude has a typo in here, but this is eliminating central entities by creating new ones. Banks embrace Ripple and move beyond testing to real-world transactions. We can see the legacy routes that go on here, and it's just completely crazy. Instead, money is converted into the native Ripple currency, XRP. Fantastic. I do believe that they also talk about following the money. Where is the smart money going, okay? And they're talking directly about Interledger, not blockchain, but a principle of getting different networks to connect. So Ripple facilitates that, right? They invented Interledger. They gifted it to the W3C, which basically owns and operates the internet, the standard. They're the standards body pretty much for the internet, right? Now we see R3 here. We see Intel. So follow the money, right? We try to do that. I try to tell you guys to do that as much as I possibly can. Equens Worldline has been very busy for the past 2 years. They're basically Dutch Payments Association is all running pretty much through Equens Worldline for settlement, I believe, if not clearing. And we can just go from there. Equens Worldline is big, 320 plus financial institutions, 125 million cards under management, 11 billion card transactions processed per year, and 138 billion payment transactions per year. So they're obviously talking about XRP. I've seen other documents with Worldline and Equens Worldline, but I got on that topic and I wanted to show that to you because I thought that was, you know, very relevant as far as what we've been seeing for the past couple of years about connecting networks. So this is Grayscale. Their commercial debuted today. I'll play it, I guess. I wasn't like a huge fan of it. It was kind of like too young for me.
Money, people traded goods, tools, cattle, grain, even shells represented value. Then currency came along. They made it out of copper, gold, silver, wampum. Soon people decided to put all that value into a piece of paper, then proceeded to wave goodbye to value, printing unlimited amounts of money as they passed the buck to the future. That's why it's time for digital currency.
I mean, I get it, but, you know, I don't know. I wish it would have been a little bit more geared towards like maybe like young professionals, because you know we see that the demographics that invest into digital assets and in this space, a lot of us, there's not to take anything away from any age group, I could care less. Like I'm in my early 30s, you know, but a lot of us are in our late 20s to mid to late 50s, I would say. Seems to be that gap there, but this is like a very youthful type thing, which is cool, but like I wish they would have like kind of talked about like the integration that's actually going on, you know what I mean? Instead of like, it seems just super hypey to me. Still cool, like I said, and you know, I'm very excited to see this, you know, hopefully on TV or whatever, but and it's cool to see XRP at the end as well. It's not just Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin Trust, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Horizon, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, XRP, and Zcash. So they didn't make it just about Bitcoin, which is awesome. Now this is money on a beat, and I already told this dude he'll be getting like a finder's fee or whatever for me because I think I've done it 4 or 5 times. Now I haven't sent any of them out yet, so I haven't forgotten about you guys. Just YouTube pays out later in the months, and I plan on like if I make this video in August, money on a beat, I'll send you something in later September. So, but this is the Flare network, okay? And this is really awesome, everybody. And, you know, this has to deal with XRP fork Supposedly it's a utility fork. I would be very interested to see whenever some of the more technically inclined individuals that are in this space do something on this, a video like Sam. I would love to see a video if Sam does a video on it. I'm sure Eddie will do something about this. And she's even more, technically, she has more technical insight, I'm sure, than I do. I just try to connect things. And, even Galgatron on Twitter. So, like, I know Sam and Galgatron may not get along, but both those dudes, in my opinion, have invaluable opinions as far as the technical aspects of XRP and the XRPL. So this is the Flare network, though. It has to deal with Oracle's smart contracts. But I just wanted to present to you, this just came out today, I believe. Spark issuance. So if you're an XRP holder right now, you're going to essentially be gifted these Spark tokens, okay? I'll read this real quick and then I'm going to end this video, okay? The best, and again, this does have to deal with, again, I said smart contracts. It's basically an Oracle. It's a connector into smart contracts that this Flare network is trying to utilize here, and it's integrated into the Ethereum virtual machine as well. So now, Spark issuance, though, because I'm sure that 80% of you probably care about this. The best community to own the asset that enables the use of XRP with Turing-complete smart contracts is the community that will use it and benefit from it. XRP holders. Flare is not doing an ITO, initial token offering, right? Instead, it is doing what we term a utility fork. We believe it's the first utility fork of its kind. Now, if you're not aware, if you're not in digital assets, forks run rampant with proof of work coins, from what I've seen at least. Not talking anything bad about them, but we can see Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, Bitcoin Diamond, all these forks. It's basically these developers and these coders that don't agree on the new or a proposed updated set of codes, so they just branch out onto their own and start a new thing. Okay, so whatever. A fork traditionally has sought to take the user base of an existing network and depart entirely from that network, usually to have an antagonistic relationship with the original chain. And we see that with Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision versus Bitcoin, etc., etc. In contrast, a utility fork is intended to bring value back to the original chain instead of moving away from it. Flare, or the Flare network, lets the XRP ledger do what it does best, which is fast settlement, while bringing to the XRP ledger smart contracts and the feasibility to create a trustless pipeline to other blockchains. We think this is a truly powerful combination and a perfect example of utility. Now, initially, not even initially, 100 billion Spark tokens are going to be created to mirror the quantity of XRP that exists. They're going to basically remove the quantity of tokens that belongs to XRP or Ripple Labs, and the rest of the distribution, or the only distribution, the real distribution, is going to go to the holders. So the portion that would have went to the XRP or Ripple Labs would have went to Flare Networks Limited or the Flare Foundation, and the 45 billion Spark will also be claimable by the XRP holders. So that's fantastic, I think. I mean, I need to read this whole document. This just came out like 3 hours ago, and I had this whole presentation generated beforehand. But, it is, like I said, it's smart contracts, integration, interoperability into the Ethereum virtual machine, and hopefully, none of the more technically inspired people out there don't find anything that's super wrong with this. If there is, I'll obviously do a follow-up video to this, or even if I find something myself that's a little bit concerning, I will do the same. So regardless, looks like we'll be getting some Spark tokens, and I think that the SkuChain information is big. Again, I'm not going to present information that's just not there to you all. This is the information I found today, so that's the information I presented. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and if there's information tomorrow, I would do the same. You guys take it easy and have a good night. You want to check out Unstoppable Domains, which is basically a simplification of sending crypto. Now they're integrated into Coinbase. Feel free to do so. If you want to follow me on Patreon, feel free to do so as well. I could care less either way. Check it out if you want to. All right? Take it easy. Later.